G'day guys, welcome back to Oztrek Gel's MSR review. We're doing the new Swift Hawk. Of course, I'm going to bring in the old AWM just for comparison and what has changed in between these two pieces. Though, as I said initially, when something comes in a box this quality, it's always a good blaster. Of course, when you do get something in a box of this caliper, it's always a good blaster. I said that from the start. The better the box, the better the blaster generally. That's a nice looking blaster. I do like it indeed. Of course, we've got the obligationary tacky. Actually, they're actually probably the best quality ones I've seen so far, but they look pretty crap. Goggles, always use your own, replace them, but always wear them. The Remington, there's no extra branding on here. I did want as close to a replica as I possibly could get. Let's have a look-sies. Let's turn it around. It's a nice looking blaster. First thing I can say from just looking at it is the outer tactical barrel handguard that it's got is great. It's fantastic. One of the reasons I actually got it, because one of the things I fear most is snapping the barrel off. Now with the AWM, that's a real possibility, and so you pretty much must have a metal barrel on it. So, ooh, rubber grip feels cool. Awesome. The quality control. Wow. I do like that. That's classy. Also, the rubber grip is, wow, it's very comfortable. That's nice. Okay, so what we've got here is a metal trigger guard and a metal trigger by the looks of it, which is nice. I've noticed that the release is in a different spot. Looks very similar to the original mag. And okay, this is going to need charging. Let's put that on charge now, and we're going to have to find the charge controller by the looks of it. Wow, look, first thing I'm not impressed about is, I suppose, this. I really hope that battery lasts. I really prefer, and they look almost, wow, identical, the AWM with the replaceable AAAs, because you can always just swap out your AAAs. And by the way, they do last a long time. Just keep them up so that the batteries don't run out. Same as you unplug one of these. So we'll see how long this actually goes for. They almost look identical there, except one's a bit higher. I'm interested whether you can actually use them. Well, that's the AWM one. Those batteries work great. So, oh, there's a slight difference just in the back here. It's straight. This one's here are sort of narrowed and then come out, and it looks like the mag is a little thicker in general. So, interesting stuff. Let's have a look at it here. Flip her over. I really like this tactical rail. Very, very cool. I'm loving the Remington insignia on it. This feels a nicer quality straight out than the AWM there. A little bit of plastic in between, and it looks like that's actually made to be pulled out as well. Just in here. Or raised or lowered, I should imagine. And this looks pretty cool. I'm liking this. The AWM, you had to use Allen keys to pull out and adjust it, and once it's set, you can't just quickly set it on the fly. So that I'm loving about this. This is an extremely tactical version. I'm loving all the little Picatinis all over it. They're nice quality nylon, as usual. It's not letting me down. Doesn't seem to have the same sort of feel or paint that the AWM has on it. What else have we got here? I like that the bolt comes through the handle there, and it's got the same safety. I absolutely love that. So I'm really liking all the tactical parts on it. It's really made a difference. Let's just hope. Obviously get the same gearbox inside there. Don't know if you can see that. So, and there's the standard spring inside it. So I'm assuming that is the same as the AWM, which we'll have a look at in 1 second. But this is quite impressive straight from the box, as the first one was. All metal fittings here, which is typical of the Swift Hawk. I'm really liking the size comparison compared to the AWM. It's a much tighter unit. Example, there is no fitting of the barrel, it's already on it. So that's cool. And I'm loving that it does come with a spare barrel, and of course a nice little alloy tube there. Sorry, I was just checking. It does feel a bit wobbly in there. Hoping that the hop up actually fits. Let's just check that now and see. This is an AWM barrel. Just checking. Alright. So, if anyone wanted to, they couldn't. So you can't put a metal barrel in this unless they make one specifically for it. So you can't just go and get the AWM metal barrel, stick that one in this one. It's not going to work. But what's going to work is my converted hop up. That's going to sit on there. Nice. And obviously there is no threads on the end of it here, so it's just a slip-on, which that looks pretty cool. I do like the look of that. Especially it looks better than the AWM one. Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's delve a little bit further into it. Oh, nice press. Definitely not as easy to open up as the AWM, though it looks absolutely stellar. Let's remove that. This is very cool. The parts on the stock are very solid. It does feel, well, look like more of a mold fit. Like this one here is all sharp edges on it. Not too bad. Like, I'm really liking it. It doesn't necessarily. It does feel more like a imitation than the AWM. The coating on the AWM is second to none. It's amazing. But this is really cool. I'm loving the metal trigger. It's a really nice feel to it. Looks like this has changed a little bit at the back here. Now I'm hoping, because I did buy a metal piston kit for it. So the next episode of the MSR, you will have the pulling apart of the stock here, the barrel, dismantling, and putting a metal piston kit replacement straight in it. So this is what came out of the AWM. It feels like a almost a longer unit, because this barrel seems to join in here somewhere. So it's making me wonder if the spring will fit. Does it come? Yes, it does, thank God. Yeah, it's a shorter spring too. So there's a shorter spring. It will be a 1.2. I will check it when I put it in with the piston kit, but you're not recommended to put anything more than a 1.2 in one of these things, purely because the back can blow off, and I've heard that it can smash you in the face, and you don't want that. That's not a good thing. So don't upgrade it any more than a 1.2 spring in it, and you'll be happy anyway. The AWN slugs constantly at 340s, you know, it loves the 313 mark for some reason. So I'm loving that insignia on there. Makes it look and feel more like a replica. That's awesome too. I really like the feel of that again. It's nice and soft here in the back, so that actually would be very comfortable on the shoulder. Do we have a charger at all? We have a charger. Okay, right. Well, the AWM, you needed to actually assemble it. Everything came separate, and this one just all comes straight out the box. That's definitely a plus for those who don't want to put something together. I'm going to be tearing this apart. I can see the slight differences in the gearbox there. I'll sort of show you in a second with the AWM. But this is really nice. I am loving the adjustability on it. Oh, that's nice. Oh, yep. That was very solid. And, whoop, let's make sure that's down. Pops through the handle. Locks into place good too. The AWM actually just has like a press clip thing that it pushes down on. I'll show you. Seeing as though that's that bit there done. That's the AWM. The finish on this is exactly like the real thing. It's an amazing blaster, this. I like the MSR's plastic on the back there, the rubber. It's a bit softer. The sling straps, everything on it. Like I said, there's no release on it. There's just a press clip on that one there, which goes down to it. And it has a really solid clasp on here too. There's a bit of oil leaking out of it because I gave it a bit of juice when I was using it. But this thing is, well, pretty much what I'm going to do to this. Exactly the same thing. I've got the MSR piston kit coming for it. I will, of course, swap the sight over. And depending, I might just use the cheaper ones unless I actually go and get a real one again. Now, I've heard that this bit here is good for the cheaper ones anyway, so you can move it back and forth and get the right angle. But if you do get a proper one, you're not going to have any problem getting that angle on it. The things actually almost need tightening. So, you know, they're solid. They're really easy to adjust, or you can let it go. These are great. They're not that expensive, so it's worth it. This is a bloody heavy blaster, so it's hurting my arm holding it a little bit. Like I said, you do need the Allen keys here to adjust this bit here. Up and down. It's fully adjustable though. And I do love this, for the fact that you can actually drop it down completely, go run with it, still fire and shoot with it. You can't do that with this because it's locked within the handle on there. So that's a downfall for that one. Size wise, well, if I can try and show you the size, I'll go from the back. Sorry, I've got to move it around, there's no room in here. There's a huge difference in size. We got the long or the short barrel on it, is what I'm interested in knowing. The thing I do like about this one here, they left you enough room to actually stick a hop up on there, which is great. I had to really customize the hell out of this end bit because it doesn't go back in. You can see right there, that's where the end of the actual barrel comes out. There's just not enough, and you had to slide it in. You can see the red bit, that's the end of it right there. So just beyond that, so it's on as far as it can go, and you really do need a specific hop up for the AWM. Though if you have the metal barrel, you put the riser in it, the metal riser, but the riser is fantastic inside this, and the color of this is better as well. It's more of an actual true khaki rather than a tan or a taupe color. That's another thing I do like about it. The silver bolt on it, you know, not that fussed about. Though the metal piston kit inside this really makes it everything that it needs to be. So it's awesome. And this thing's pumping at over 300s constantly. Very consistently, like I was saying, around 313. It does actually 340s depending on the gels. So on regs, it just depends on the gels that you're using at the time. This is a great blaster. The only thing that I would upgrade on this maybe more is the metal Picatinny, although you buy them as a kit, and the bottom one doesn't fit, so it needs customizing to make that one fit. But the metal barrel, second to none. And if you do have an AWM, get one. And if you do have an MSR, get an AWM. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about by the difference. I just hope that with the shorter piston that looks like that's in this, that it's actually going to stand up and hold up to the same as this, because this was 260 straight off the bat, and this one here we need apparently a longer barrel in it to achieve those FPS ratings. So that's why they've given us this one here, which is obviously a longer barrel. Size wise, the AWM is actually still a little bit longer, which is pretty good, and it still pumps over 300s very constantly, and it's an accurate blaster too because it's got a really long barrel on it. It's very accurate. So let's check out this one here. Obviously this is, I reckon, about this much shorter in total, not too much. The feed system's different. It doesn't have a screw coming out here, so it doesn't lock into the barrel. So therefore it's subject to being bashed around and ripped upwards, and when you rip them upwards you're going to break something. The cool thing about it is it does have the guard on it, which is protecting that motion a lot, and it's very comfortable to hold. It does have a slightly cheaper feel to it, although the quality finish of the nylon is still very, very good. And I'm loving that again. That's just so good. The more real insignia that you have on it, the better. The more of a replica it actually is. It feels pretty solid there. It's not wobbling around. I do like it. It's bloody hot. And this has been strengthened up because of this inside bit here of the actual rail that's going through it. That's all holding it nice and center, and it's stopping that upwards leverage, hence you don't need that extra screw up here like the AWM. And this one you'd be able to push through trees a lot easier, not worry about breaking your barrel. So for that alone, very, very, very cool. You really do want the metal barrel on there if you are going to use the AWM, but I'm not even going to put these two blasters in the same kind of category. The AWM is a really, really, really close replica. It's spot on. It feels amazing in the hand. The texture that they put on it, the rubberized paint or whatever it is that they've got on the nylon finish is second to none. You can't beat that. This is lacking in all of those areas, although it looks really cool. I wonder if it's going to be as weighty as the AWM when it's all kitted out. That's another interesting feature. And one thing I don't like about it, again, is the fact that you have to charge your batteries. I've heard people say that they take 5 minutes to charge and there's no problem, and that you can go a whole day with the game. Well, I don't know how many gels they're putting through it, and it took me about an hour and a half to charge that. So that's not cool at all. what's a lot cooler is carrying a couple of spare batteries, because I don't know where you can get these things. Spare batteries, and having one of these. I really hope this fits. I don't think it will. It won't. Damn it. Even though it fits, it still won't feed. So I suppose don't bother. Let's charge this up and take some test shots, because there is no putting together of this thing to do. And if you do want to get one of these, I recommend going through the guys at Gelsoft Undercover. They're awesome. I literally ordered this yesterday, and this morning it appeared at my door. I've never had anybody send anything so fast ever and be so prompt with delivery. Just for that fact alone, those guys need a massive shout out. GU, you're legends. Love your style. It was so quick. It came out, and I'm very happy with it. Today I'm doing this review, and I'm loving it. I'm going to go and give it a couple of shots, run it through the chrono, and apparently you get the higher FPS with a shorter barrel, and with the longer barrel a lower FPS. It must be something to do with the actual shorter piston inside it. As you can see, it's going to be heaps shorter. So that's less spring tension, less everything. So that's where the lower FPS is coming from. But it's still going to get a metal piston kit through it, because that's just not going to happen. And I have heard that this could break. It does feel pretty solid, but I have heard that these handles have snapped. Charging handles. Whoa, let's take it for the first. Sounds pretty good. A little bit more hollow than the AWM. That's tight. So that's the difference between the two blasters. I do really like this for what it is. I really wanted this because I had the AWM and I wanted its brother in the kit. So you're going to see me out there on the field, probably mucking around with the combination of this one and the AWM. You know, I recommend it. I think that for the price point that it's at, it's actually well priced. It's good blaster. It's solid. It's already assembled, put together. You can go out, have fun, charge your battery. I'm not impressed with that bit though. Charge your battery and get into it. That point alone is plug and play, fantastic. Well done, Swift Talk again. Like I was saying, the finishings seem a little bit cheaper quality, and that's all the finishings actually seem a little cheaper quality on it, except for the handle. I do like that, and the metal trigger though, and the fact that it actually does have brass fittings for the screws. That's also handy. And the other part, that the barrel actually does come out long enough to stick a hop up on, which is fantastic again. And I think if I was to rate this close to the AWM, well, the AWM gets a 10. So this one I'm going to call a 9. Easy. 8.5 easy. It's definitely a 9. There's definitely not a 10. How about that? So know what you're getting into when you do get into it. It's like I was saying, you can see all the moldings, all the, you know, it's definitely a cheaper style finish on it. It's not as close a replica as the AWM, but you will have fun with it. And let's go out and get a chrono test done on it. Peace, guys. Right, welcome back to the office. Let's go through the MSR. Long overdue. Not too bad, a little flimsy, I'm going to rate it an 8. And for shooting, because it does have gels in it and I have taken a couple of shots, it's less than desirable. Absolutely less than desirable. So this thing at the moment reminds me, shooting wise, a lot of this one. This actually, well, I haven't FPS tested this yet, but this one feeds and shoots very well. It's only a low FPS blaster though. It's only 240. This I consider a low FPS blaster as well. The difference between this and the AWM, it's not even comparable. If you want something which is going to shoot straight, dead straight, and be quiet, more authentic in looks, and except for the actual buttstock there, which I do like that buttstock on the end of it. It's quite nice, but this one is second to none. And I do have the 2-barrel option to change it out and lengthen it like this one, though this one here is winning straight out the box. Swifthawk definitely let the game down a little bit with this one. It looks good. It feels great with the handle grip. Nice, you know, trigger guard, nice metal trigger, and the bolt seems lesser of quality too. So I'm going to give it an oil up at least as well, but it's got a metal piston kit coming, so tune in for the next episode of the MSR metal piston kit, and we'll see how it actually affects it. So we'll actually rip it apart and have a bit of a look-see at it. So right now I'm just going to grab out the chronograph, and we'll see if we can't actually get some readings from this. Right, we've got the chronograph set up, so let's just try it, and hopefully we can't get some sort of an honest result out of this whole thing. Right, so let's give it a couple of shots. We've got the MSR here. We've set the parameters for it, for the chronograph, and I will go into another episode where I'm actually showing you how to set the chronograph, depending on what chronograph you've got, and how to get the most accurate readings out of your actual gels themselves. So let's give this a couple of shots. This is supposed to be around 240 with this barrel on it and 260 with the other barrel. Let's find that out. I doubt it. 219.4. 198.1. Very inconsistent. 246.0. 229.2. 336.4. So it's kind of getting close to that 440 mark. That says 9999. That's not right. If you do get those freak shots, you've shot the gel so that it's actually hit the sensors. So try and get it straight through the middle of the chronograph if you can. 236.4. 227.0. 224.3. 232.8. So when I show you the graph on this, you're going to see a real high and a real low. They're obviously fake. 247.9. I'll have a little bit of oomph behind it. 247.9. 251.9. Let's check the AWM. There's about 3 or 4 shots there where I just hit the outside of the chrono and it didn't get a proper reading, so don't count those shots and look at the consistent shots in between it, and I'll throw a screenshot up now. So a little graph of how it's been shooting. Fresh pallet, let's go. This is a nicer feeling blaster. Even the actual metal bolt itself feels a hell of a lot nicer. So let's just have a shot and see what happens. And you can shoot it with it folded down, with the stock folded up, which I like. $310.6. This does have a metal piston kit in it. It was shooting 260s before that though. 301.4. 292.5. Another low shot. 298.4. So I'm going to count it down to these new gels being a little bit lower FPS than the ones that I was originally trying it with, because I was getting very consistent 313s and up to 340s with it. So I have changed the parameters down, so it's 7.1 for the bore, and the gels are controlled grow as well. They're all at pretty much 7.0, 7.1. So we'll see which ones actually do get the best shots. 298.4. 310.6. 301.4. 304.3. 366.0. 307.3. One more shot. 310.6. I'm going to put the metal piston kit into the MSR, so stay tuned and watch out for the MSR episode where I'm actually putting that in. So if you don't know how to actually put one in, they're really easy to get. I'll put the links down below as to where to get all the parts, and hope you just have fun with gel blasting, because it's really just all about doing this, having fun. So get out there, have a good day in the field, and honestly, get an AWM. You can't shoot the MSR with the buttstock down, so I just recommend maybe having both of them, because they both suit each other. We've got big brother, little brother, and they both work well. We've got tactical, not so tactical. It really is up to what you want to put into it and what you want to do with it. Honestly, you can't go too wrong with getting an MSR. It does feel a little bit cheaper in quality than the AWM, but ultimately I give this a 10 out of 10 for what it is. Replica is off the chains accurate, and really accurate as being a replica, and accurate in sightage. And this one here is not so accurate so far, but I have some modifications to do to it. It does need a hop up put on it, and it does need a metal piston kit put in it. This will weigh very similar to this with all the bits and pieces on it. They will have a very sort of similar weight value to them, except you can put more metal parts on this one here. Not so many parts for this one yet available. This one here, you have AA batteries in the charger handle, and this one here you have a actual lithium, which I'm not too sure how that's going to go on a game day. So I'd rather be able to actually swap them out and put something on here which is going to be worth its while. If you could intermingle the mags, would be fantastic, but we can't because they are set at different heights. So they look the same, very similar anyway. Can't use them two together, but these two, if you take them both out for a day, I'll tell you what, if one fails, you're not going to be let down too much by the other one. So get into it. Shout out again, Gelball on the cover for delivering it so quickly. You've really outdone yourself, and appreciate it. Enjoy, guys. Take it easy.